Hi students, welcome to this early clinical exposure class where I will be walking you through the various acid base problems how to analyze arterial blood gas analysis or ABGs. Alright. Now since this is a part, this should have been done in clinical ward settings in ICU especially, but during this lockdown, so I will be briefly telling you how to perform this ABG procedure. Alright. Now if you already know what is the how is ABG done, or if you are only interested in interpreting ABG problems, you can definitely skip to the timestamp that is shown in the video now. For those rest of you, let's learn how ABG is done. Okay, now definitely you can pause this video anytime and you can write what's shown, but for you as a first year student, it is more important to just listen to me and have a basic idea how the thing is done. So the first thing that you should know is it's analysis of arterial blood. Okay, I know most of you have seen or might have given blood for routine blood tests like blood glucose, urea, creatinine, liver function test, LFT, etc. You must have noticed that your blood sample is drawn from over here, that is the median cubital vein. Okay, that's the most common area from where we do routine biochemical analysis. But for blood gas analysis, the arterial blood is preferred. So what are the sites of arterial puncture? Those are number one, radial. The most preferred area is the radial artery, and the next is femoral artery. In rare cases, if the patient is having burns or amputated limb, brachial artery, popliteal artery, etc., those areas can also be accessed depending on the patient scenario, but most common is radial and femoral. Now the first thing that needs to be done is a 2 cc syringe is taken. Okay, a 2 cc syringe is taken. The thing that is written over here may not match exactly as to what I am telling. Okay, I am telling from my self experience in ward clinics. Okay, so a 2 cc syringe is first taken and it is heparinized. What is heparinization? It means heparin is actually available in powder form, it is reinstated into liquid form. So the syringe is just inserted in the heparin bottle vial, it is then pulled up. Okay, heparin is drawn in the syringe and again heparin is pushed back into the vial. So the minimal amount of heparin that is actually sticking to the wall of the syringe is enough to make the syringe heparinized. Why? Because arterial blood has a high propensity to clot in a short period of time. But if we draw arterial blood with a heparinized syringe, that blood will remain in liquid form till it is inserted into an ABG analyzer machine. So that is number one thing you need to know, heparinized syringe. Number two, care must be taken after the arterial blood is drawn so that there is no air bubble left in the syringe. Why? Ask yourself, we are trying to analyze the arterial blood gas, that is what amount of oxygen is dissolved in our blood. Okay, if as well as carbon dioxide, if there is some amount of bubble remaining in the syringe, that dissolved air will simply mess up the data of our actual arterial blood gas picture. So care must be taken that there is no air bubble in the syringe. And lastly, one most important thing is the whole thing should be done in a hurry, that is known as POCT or point of care testing. That is the ABG machine is always present in bedside near the patient, that is in ICU, inside ICU. You will know in future that the routine biochemical test, the blood sample is sent to the central lab. Over there are machines and we analyze them with the help of various auto analyzer. But in case of ABG, there is no time to send, there is no time to receive, etc. in lab, and there is no time for report collection. It is a emergency procedure, so it should be done absolutely right then at the bedside. Okay, so this is also known as point of care testing or POCT. So it should be done within 30 minutes. So if the blood sample has been drawn and 30 minutes have passed, it is totally useless. We need to draw fresh blood sample to analyze the ABG. So as a first year student, you need to keep three things in mind. So number one, arterial tap. Number two, you don't need to know the procedure of arterial tap, you just need to know arterial tap. So arterial tap number one, number two heparinized, number three no air bubble, and number four it should be done within 30 minutes. That being said, we need to know what are the parameters that are measured in an ABG machine or arterial blood gas analyzer. Those are pH. As you know, these are the parameters that we need to analyze in order to interpret any ABG problem. So those are the potential of hydrogen, the actual value of H plus that may be necessary sometimes, the partial pressure of oxygen and carbon dioxide, as well as the arterial saturation of oxygen. So remember, PaO2 and SaO2 are two different things. You must be knowing this by now because I believe respiratory system has been completed in physiology. And often, very rarely, examiner might ask you what's the alternative method of doing this, because this is an invasive method. Invasive method means we are puncturing the skin. Anything that breaches the skin is an invasive method. So a surgery is an invasive method, but an ultrasonography where the probe is just put on your skin, the skin is not punctured, that is a non-invasive method. Okay, even an endoscopy where it is put inside a oral cavity is an invasive method because body cavity is breached. Okay, so non-invasive method to analyze the blood gas analysis is this: pulse oximetry with transcutaneous carbon dioxide measurement. It's an advanced thing, it's not a must know area. Okay, pulse oximetry means the machine is designed in such a way so that it can measure the oxygen and carbon dioxide concentration just by passing infrared light through the pulse. So why don't we use it? Because it is not that much accurate. Okay, invasive method is the most accurate method. And you know Henderson-Hasselbalch equation, we use this to interpret one value. Suppose we know the bicarbonate and PaCO2, we can calculate the pH. As a part of your homework, you need to know common acid base disorder. Believe me, you need to know much more than this one. Okay, so at least for Viva, for just passing as a part of must know area, you should know at least name of two of each of these diseases. So metabolic acidosis, metabolic alkalosis, respiratory acidosis, and respiratory alkalosis. Alright, and lastly, this is a picture of an ABG analyzer. Okay, so this ABG analyzer, there is a nozzle in which you simply need to insert the syringe. Okay, you need to detach the needle and you need to insert the syringe. The machine will draw the blood automatically. It will take some time. There may be a barcode system in which you need to enter the patient's data, and you need to check or give machine some command what tests you need in the touchscreen menu, and then a strip will be printed shortly that will give you the detailed result of the arterial blood gas of the patient, and from those data we can analyze what disease the patient might be having. So that being said, we will move on to the next lecture, which is analysis of arterial blood gas disorders.